Okay, we're all stripped down on the hood. There are a few places where there were some either previous repairs or impacts or whatever, but we've got some gouges here that I can't really sand completely out or I'll go all the way through the fiberglass. So I'm going to put some Everglass over these two places. There was a repair done here. I see grinder marks. There was some filler in it. I think one more up here and a kind of a hairline crack back in here, and cover that with Everglass. I can't even flex it to make the crack open, so I think it's just right in the surface. The rest of this will get glaze pretty much over the whole thing, because everywhere I went into the fiberglass it took a little bit of it out. So pretty much every spot you see this fiberglass like this, these gray areas need to be glazed. So I pretty much just need to glaze the whole hood and block it out. We'll go ahead and get the Everglass on these places, then I'll block that out or just DA sand it, then wipe the entire hood. It'll take several applications to get it covered. Okay, it's finally time to prime this hood. Took several hours of blocking to get this thing flat. Still not perfect, so I'm going to put about at least 3, maybe 4 coats of primer on it, give it plenty of time to cure. I'll also cure it with the heat lamp. And we got one spot on the deck lid where I had the back of it taped off for whatever reason, I can't remember, and it lifted a little piece of the primer there, so I had to feather that out. And we're just going to put an arc of primer over this and then build up that section with at least 2 more coats so I can block it all out, and that'll be done. I got the new rear bumper, so once I get all this primed I'll start working on getting that fit to the car while this is curing. Okay, we're finally ready to get this hood and deck lid done. I've been fighting COVID for the past week. Pretty mild case, but really couldn't get a whole lot done. Did a little bit every day, but couldn't get a chunk done all at one time like I wanted to. But now we're finally ready. Had to spot prime this, I think I mentioned that, where I had a piece of it lift with some tape. Underside of all this is finished, so I've got it masked off. Had to spot prime the hood where I had some cut throughs. I used a dark primer just so I could see where I was applying it a little bit easier, since I was going to seal the whole hood anyway. So this will get value shade 3 sealer, and I'll get this all in one solid color before I start the base coat. I could go straight to base coat on this, but it would take a lot more coats to cover this up where you couldn't see the black spots. I'm going to get it wiped down one more time and tack it. I'll get some sealer on it. I'm going to let the overspray clear just a minute, and then I'll tack the trunk lid over there, or deck lid, and I'll seal it. Had a ceiling light go out up here the other day. I haven't had time to fix it, so it's a little dark back there, but I'll be able to do it, no problem. Okay, each one of these will get 2 more coats of red before clear. Okay, all done. 3 coats of clear on each one. I think it turned out pretty nice. For the conditions for the day. Humidity was a little bit elevated, but not too bad. I didn't paint these as close together. I just moved them so I can get another car in here behind it for the night. I'll let these sit here all night, and then tomorrow get them on the car so that I can get them out of my way. I've been walking around these parts for months now. I'm ready to get them back on the car. I'll get these fitted, and I'm going to paint the lower air dam tomorrow. That's going to go flat black. Okay, I've got the bumper bolted in permanently. Just did a little body work, or at least around the edge where it starts flexing everything when you tighten it down. I didn't want to do all that before I put it on, or it would have shifted again on me. I'm only going to prime down to basically midpoint here. None of this underneath really needs primer. I'll end up sealing all of that when I actually do the paint job, but I'm going to have to cover the body work. And I'll come back and just sand this primer out and seal the whole bumper when I get ready to paint it. And get the primer mixed up now. I just need to throw some plastic over this and finish masking it. It'll be ready to go. That'll get 2 more coats, and that'll be it. Okay, finally ready to do the rear bumper. I dropped down the exhaust just so I could get right up on the bumper here and get full coverage. The pipe was about a ½ an inch from it, and this pipe needed to be straightened up this way anyway, so I wanted to be able to bend that pipe over, and I'll rehang it and get it centered. That pipe was straight up from about where it is now, and this one was over almost in the corner, so that'll allow me to straighten that up too. I'm gonna get this wiped down and get some sealer on it, and give it about 20-30 minutes and go straight to the base coat and then clear. Two more coats of red and then we'll go to the clear. Okay, here we are about 2 hours later. We're gonna pull this plastic off so it doesn't stick to whatever paint may have bridged onto it. Hopefully none did. Let it sit here all night and then I'll get it back off the jack stand. And in case you're wondering, yeah, I did mask off underneath here. That's a pet peeve of mine, spraying paint all over the chassis. It's just 3 coats of clear. Nice and wet. Once I get it down, actually I may even leave it up. I got to replace the light sockets. We're doing a tail light conversion on this, so I'm replacing the center 2 sockets. Let me go ahead and do that before I let it down. Then get those in place, and then that'll all be finished up. I want to get back underneath the car. All right, I'm finally down to the last part. This is the front valance. It's going to go under the new front bumper that I put on it. He did ask that the wheels be resprayed, but I don't really consider that part of the paint job, so I'm not going to worry about showing that. I'm just going to clean those up, spray a little silver. But as far as the actual body goes, this is the last piece. This is dark sealer. This piece is going to go matte black, and instead of buying a single stage flat black or matte black, I'm just going to use a matte finish additive for my clear coat. So this will just get black base coat over this and then clear over that with the additive. Here's a look at the sealer. It's a little cool in here, so I'm going to have to let it sit for probably 20 to 30 minutes before I can start the base coat. This will only take 2 coats of black and we'll be covered, and I'll wait for that for probably 30 minutes, and I need to clear on it. All right, one more base coat, then clear. Okay, here's the tech sheet for the matting additive. This is actually for a different clear, like a low VOC clear. But I'm down here at the one that doesn't have any reducer in it. So I'm doing the flat 2 to 10 gloss. I guess that's a percentage. So it's a cumulative weight, so I had to buy a little scale here that I keep just for this. A little cheap $15 one off Amazon for these times, because there's no mixing ratio for that. It's just strictly a cumulative weight. So I've mixed up half of what they say on the sheet, and they recommend back-to-back coats. So what I want to do is put down a light tack coat just so I can get enough build. I don't want to run this, so I'm going to put a tack coat down to give me something for it to stick to, and I'll come back about 5 minutes after that and put back-to-back medium coats on it, and that'll be good. It'll be glossed right when it's put on, but then it'll slowly turn matte as it cures. I'll be back when I'm finished, let you see the finish of it. Okay, finally done. Customer's gonna be here in a little while. I'll give you a quick run around inside the garage here. I'm trying to leave it inside so nothing happens to it. Just put the letters on the back. That was the last piece I was waiting on. The order came in incorrect, so I had to send those back. It's the new quarter panel. New emblems. Here's the screens he wanted me to put in these vents. Actually looks pretty nice. I'm mostly happy with it. There's a few flaws in the fiberglass that you end up having just by the nature of it being fiberglass, but overall it turned out pretty nice. This is the lower lip that he added. Did that in flat black. Actually flat clear over black base. I didn't really cut the hood down at all. I just left the sprayed texture on it. It was good enough. But I denibbed and polished out the whole car. Other than the hood, just took the nibs out of it. Here's this gill, or vent, whatever you want to call it. He brought new trim rings and hubcaps, so those are brand new. Had this thing for 16 months. I'm glad it's done. See you on the next job. Got a few more coming.